Hi there, I wanted to make an informational video on some things about the RV for easy things. So the camera monitor, good spot to plug it in is right here. If you want the monitor to actually come on and see behind you, just make sure you turn on the headlights. What that'll do is that the camera runs off the headlight, the line. So when you turn this on, you will get power at the monitor. So maybe let's do it right now just so you can see it. So you're like, let's do that. Let's just do it now so you can see it. Where's the keys at? Okay. So right now, if you look at it, it says no signal. But let's change that. I'm gonna plug keys in. Just turn the power. Just turn the accessories on. I'm gonna turn this on. Should. There we go. And there is the rear thing right there. Pretty cool, huh? And as soon as you turn it off, it'll turn off power. So there you go. So I want to show you that just so you get an idea. This guy right here, it's a tire pressure sensor gauge. Tire pressure gauge. Each tire has a little gauge on it, letting you know which tires are and what they're filled to. So I just filled them all up now. So they should all be around 80. The top two are the front tires. They need to be around 65, which they are, and the back two need to be around 80, which they are. I wouldn't let them go down to, like, if they get to about 70, I would definitely start refilling them. But yeah, they're about 80 right now, so that's pretty good. Stereo's great. It'll connect to your iPhone or your what's it called? Android phone. I replaced the AC, so there's a new AC on the roof, and that is what controls the AC right there. This actually controls the furnace. So if you can, try not to have them both on at the same time because they'll fight each other. So when you have one on, turn one off. Yeah, exactly. So this guy right here, this is like the control panel. When you have batteries in this thing, let me show you where the batteries go. So when you do get batteries for the cabin, they actually go underneath this seat right here. Look at automatic seat comes out, boom. As long as there's power, you got the automatic stair. And under here is where the batteries go. That's you plug the batteries in for the house, and that's how the house gets power for all the lights and whatever else. Yeah. Where was I going with that? I don't know. I forgot. Yeah, go and just lift this guy up, and you put the batteries right under there, and that's how you get the power of the system. So once you have that, let's see if this is the generator. Oh yeah, it does turn on. So in order to charge the generator, you hold the stop button down. You can hear charging. Let it kind of charge up a little bit, let it prime, and then you press the start button when you think it's ready to go. Give it a second. Let's see. It didn't type numbers. Let's try it again. Charging up again. How many hours we got on this thing? 720 hours. Not too bad. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. I go hold the stop button down. And let's try it again. What's my gas tank at? 1 second. If the gas is too low, then yeah, that's why. My bad. So basically, what happens? It started up. The only reason the only reason it's killing itself or it's not letting itself go is because the gas is about a quarter of the tank. Once basically you get to the quarter of the tank line, there's a shutdown that doesn't let the generator start when it gets to that point. Just so you basically don't power generate yourself stuck somewhere. Is basically what I just said. So that was my mistake. But yeah, so see, it's about a quarter of a tank. Once it gets to that point, it's like, nope, sorry, I'm not going to start. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, as I said before, the fridge doesn't work. When you turn it on, there actually be like one of these buttons will flash. And if you actually look up the brand of this fridge, it'll actually tell you what the flashing lights mean. It's like a code. It'll tell you which things that could possibly be wrong with it. But you know, I personally don't think that the fridge is worth it. It's probably an older fridge. But oh yeah, what else? Yeah, the seatbelts are underneath the cushion. I'm gonna leave this big soft foam mattress thing. It's very comfy. It makes the mattress really comfortable. Let me pause for a second. Think something. Yeah, in here in this drawer, this is the kitchen drawer here, right by the stove. There's a few things in there. That's the vent fan blades right there, and then the actual like filter things for the vent fan. It's actually for that guy right there. I just took that out and plugged it because mainly when it was open, I don't know if you can tell, I plugged it with that insulation right back there. Basically, because dust kept blowing down on the counter there, and I didn't like it. And it still is blows a little bit on. I need it. If you don't like that dust coming in, the wind will blow right through there. And even now, there's a little bit of dust in there from that, but it's a lot better than what it was. What else? Let's see. Let's go take a look outside. Oh, so there's no passenger side mirror right there, as you can tell. So I still have all the parts. They just plopped off. So if you know somebody who's a good mechanic or good rigger, the mirror is right there. There you go. There is a tow hitch in the back there. So if you want to rent a little trailer from U-Haul, you can actually attach to this and tow your stuff with it. In here, this is where you plug in your hose line. So we want to use city water or water supply styles. You can plug it in there. And you always have water pressure. Here is shore power. So this is where you plug in the. You plug this in somewhere that has power. And you can run the RV off that power. You unplug this guy right here. It's a regular plug. You unplug that, and then you plug it into to shore power. You either need an adapter to connect it to a 15 amp socket, like in a house, or you find somebody has a 30 amp socket, which is a different one. But right now it's plugged in. The reason it's plugged in because that's the output of the generator. So actually, when you turn that generator on, the generator powers this cord, which then powers the whole RV. Oh, this is the gray water and black water sewage drain. This one right here is the smaller one right here. One I'm touching is the sorry, I'll get that out of the way. This one right here is the black water. So you open that to dump the black water, and you open this to dump the gray water. Gray water is like shower and sink. Black water is like toilet. Yeah, it's right there, and then it all comes out right there. So here's the hose, and behind here, this is the actual water tank. So if you want to just fill up the water tank and not necessarily connect to the hose, you can do that. You just unscrew this, and there's a spot you can put the hose in and just fill it up that way. Pause. So there's that white pipe thing right there underneath the camera. You can see it. There's the awning. The awning works. It'll just take probably a little finagling. There's one of these on each side. You unlatch this, you flip it up, and then it'll rock back, and then from there you can drop it down wherever else and unroll it basically. Let's go in here and show you the inside of that pipe. So the inside of that pipe is, I'm in the bed area, right here. So if you want to get something from the outside, like a satellite dish or something, and you don't want to drill holes anywhere, you can go right to that pipe, right on the inside of here, and you're good. There's even like a little entry hole, so you can go into this big cabinet. So you can actually run it all the way through there and from that pipe. So, back of this panel, water pump, so you have water pressure if you're not connected to like a hose outside, and you can turn the water pump on. You have water pressure. This will test all the levels for you, show you where all the levels at. Black water is how far your black water tank, gray water, how far your gray water tank, fresh water, how much fresh water you have, how much propane you have and how much battery charge you have by holding the levels test button right there. And the water heater, you turn that on and it'll start warming up the water heater. If for some reason it doesn't work, see right now you can actually, it's actually on and it's working. I'm gonna turn off for a second, but right here on the outside here is with the actual water heater. And if for some reason it doesn't turn on, if you turn it on, it says and the pilot light goes out, release this valve. That's like this valve right here, and let some of the water out, and that'll clear the line so it can actually ignite. Because sometimes when there's water in there, it won't be able to ignite if there's water in the actual line. So you got to make sure you let the water out if it won't ignite. The stove is gas. The microwave is power, so you will need to either run the generator or plug it into shore power. Yeah. There's actually a stereo on the outside as well. Actually, right here, there's actually a stereo you can connect to as well. Yeah. This table area turns into a bed. You can actually, the table will actually take that leg off, the table will drop down, and then you use the cushions to lay out like a big bed, basically. So, or you can also put your own mattress on it too. Yeah, so that's pretty good as well. In here is actually there's a solar panel on the roof, and this right here is actually the solar controller. So if you ever want to run this up to the solar panel, these are the solar panel plugs. This is the part that actually goes into the solar panel. So if you want to run it up, either you can drill a hole in the roof or you can make it go out the window. But this is here, so if you get batteries installed in the cabin, you can actually have this charge your batteries. So that's pretty handy. Right now there's no batteries in it, so it's not being charged. But yeah, that's there if you need it. This thing is actually the antenna. So to get like local shortwave channels, like from on the TV, you can actually use this. You can actually use that to raise it up and actually raise out the antenna. And this is the actual coaxial to get those signals to a TV. It's plugged in right there. There's a few switches right here that are handy. This is by the door, by the cabin door. The porch light turns on the porch light on and off outside the RV. That light up there. This one turns on the ceiling light in the RV itself. This one turns off the automatic step thing. So if we press, so that thing down there, if you turn this off, the step won't automatically open and close. So you want it on and the step will automatically open and close. Turn it off, it won't automatically open and close. So when power is running, it'll do that. This is the aux battery off-on switch. This basically disconnects the cabin batteries from the rest of the RV. And why that you'd want that if you're storing this thing for a long time, that switch will basically disconnect the batteries from the rest of the RV, so you don't drain the batteries slowly over time if you don't use the batteries in a while. It's finicky, so what I recommend doing is make sure you have something on that runs off battery power, like a light. So once you have batteries and you're running off battery power, turn the lights on and really mess with that on-off switch. It was kind of finicky for some reason. I don't know what its deal is, but basically mess with it until the lights turn off. And then you know you're disconnected from the power. But yeah, really jiggle with that thing. Underneath the mirror there is a brown metal compartment door. That is a lot of the breakers. Not breakers, fuses. So if you ever have a fuse thing going on, check that little black, underneath that little brown panel right there. That's where all your fuses are. There's two switches here. I'm underneath the headlight switch. This is engine radio house power. What that'll do is basically if you can actually run the radio either off the engine battery or the house batteries. So that could be kind of handy if you're doing a run off engine battery. And this right here is the on battery boost. So you hold this one down. So let's say you have the batteries installed in the cabin, and your main engine battery is dead. What you can do you hold this button down and it'll connect your engine to your house batteries, so you can actually start your car with your house batteries. So you just hold that down and then turn the ignition while you're holding this button down, and it'll try to run power off your house batteries if you have them installed. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.